Good people, good people. What's rocking? You now tuned in. Your boy Blocko. We got a story to tell. It's a hot one today. I see my peoples in the building. Let's shout it out. S4H, shout it out. Scorpion, shout it out. Ron Harvey, shout it out. TJ, that's my G right there. Shout it out, my G. That's what it is. Who else in the building? G Mac, you already. Double R, you already. I got the engine in the back. Black to the P. Salute to my G. Yeah, we in the building? All right, we in the building. Well, hold on, turn this shit down. But yo, Prince versus Michael. We ready for this today? Somebody talk to me. Who in the building? Let me know if we ready for this today. This was the age-old shit back in the day. Anybody from the 80s and all of that. Y'all remember this was the shit. It was either Prince and Michael. That shit was damn near like the Bloods and the Crips, nigga. That's a fact. Hey, yo, Pete, throw that picture up for me, Pete. The whole joint, yeah. Word, that shit was like the Bloods and the Crips back in the day, yo. Prince and Michael, who you was rocking with. You understand what I'm saying? It was the dudes that was hating on Prince. It was dudes that was hating on Michael. Scorpion, shout it out. Dark Skin Beauty, Big Cat. You already. S4H, you already. Word. Black to the P, you in the building? Hold on. Black might be incapacitated right now. Let me see what's going on. Black might be a little incapacitated right now. But yo, this right here, look at this right here, right? You already know you got Michael at the top, right? You got Prince at the bottom. She wins, shout it out. 6-foot baller, shout it out. All right, so we got Prince at the bottom, no freaky. We got Mike at the top, right? The age-old question, who better, Prince or Michael? That's all I want to know. Who better, Prince or Michael? All right, so before we jump into it, let me see what we got in the building before we jump into it. S4H, who you rocking with? Who you rocking with? She win. Who you rocking with? Huh? Dark Skin Beauty. Who you rocking with? What we doing? Huh? Who we rocking? Let me see some names. I need to see that Prince and that Michael come across that screen. Let me see what you're rocking with. New Jersey J, shout it out. Let me see what you're rocking with. Word. New Jersey J, who you rocking with? Prince versus Michael. B, who you got? Huh? Word. So, yo, let me see what's going on. All right, so boom. Let's just start off top. Both of them child prodigies. Hey, yo, P, put that joint up with the Jackson 5 and all of that. Word. Both of them child prodigies, right? Both of them in the same era. I think they around the same age and all of that, right? Look at young Michael. Look at young, see, remember, I don't know that Michael, right? Michael ain't die like that. Michael ain't he came in the world like that, but that nigga ain't leave the world like that. That's all I'm saying, right? Put the joint up, P, with young Michael by himself with the little afro and all of that. Word. Michael came in the world like that. Mike ain't leave the world like that. Now put that young joint up of Prince, yo. Prince with the afro when he's standing all crazy. Word. What Ron Harvey say? Prince contributed to a variety of genres, including rock, new wave, disco, R&B, rap, electronica, soul, funk, jazz, blues, hip hop, and the list goes on. That is a fact. That's a whole fact. New Jersey J say Prince was the gangster, teaching other artists about their rights and publishing. That was a fact. Prince is a killer with the instruments. That's a fact. You see what's that, Pete? Let me see if I found it, Pete. See if I found the joint. Shit, maybe. The nigga had the afro, the little puffy afro, all out and shit. If you don't find it, don't worry about it. Just put a Prince joint up. All right, so the age-old question. Both these niggas childhood prodigies, right? If you can't find the joint, put the joint with just him and Michael and Prince up. Put that joint up. Both of these niggas childhood prodigies, right? Both of these niggas had a young start. All right, so let's flip it. Michael was kind of pushed into the game. He had his pops, right? Joe wasn't playing no games. Joe was pushing all them niggas. You know what I mean? Joe wanted to come out of Gary, Indiana. Joe wanted to be up in Beverly Hills. He wanted to live that big boy life. So he kind of pushed them boys. And along with the pushing, he pressured them boys. Along with that pressure came some childhood trauma and all of that, right? Now let's flip the coin. Prince. Prince growing up, his pops was a musician. His pops was a jazz musician. Hence Prince. He called himself Prince. And when his son was born, he gave his son that middle name Prince. But I think the nigga name was that nigga name was John Prince Nelson or something like that. Word. That's his father, John, right? Was a keyboard player, was nice with the piano and all of that. But coming up, you know, him and his mom separated. But when him and his mom separated, the keyboard stayed at the house. So Prince was going crazy with the keyboard, with the piano. Self-taught nigga. Taught himself, almost like, yo, he didn't get pushed by his pops. His inspiration was he wanted to be better than his pops, right? So that's something them niggas got in common, right? You might say both them niggas got daddy issues, right? You could say that. Both them niggas got daddy issues. One was a pressureman daddy, you know what I mean? One was a foot on your back type of daddy, and the other daddy wasn't there, right? All right, so let's get to it. Prince. 46 instruments. Last time I think somebody counted, 46 instruments. Writing, producing, compose, arrange, all by Robert Prince Nelson. I mean Roger Prince Nelson. Written, produced, composed, and arranged, all by Roger Prince Nelson since the nigga was 16. The nigga had a deal like no other. You see, Michael came into the game, but Michael came into the game with the Jackson 5. He was young, but he had the older brothers and all that good stuff, right? They kind of helped hold him down, you know what I mean? While he was grooming himself and growing up in the game. Prince jumped out by himself. 17 years old, he signed this contract with Warner Brothers. They tried to bring old boy Maurice Wright from Earth, Wind and Fire to produce his first album, and Prince was like, nah, ain't nobody producing my joint. I don't care if it's Maurice, I don't care if it's Philip Bailey, I don't care if it's Lionel Richie, I don't care who y'all niggas got. Ain't nobody producing my shit. You gotta respect that. What my G just said right there. Papa Joe wasn't playing. That's a fact. Papa Joe was not playing S4H. Papa Joe throw bricks at niggas and all type shit. Papa Joe was whipping niggas with extension cords and all type shit. That nigga was not playing no games. That's a fact. Word. Prince was the wiser businessman. All right, so we go get into all of that. We go get into all of that. My son said Prince was the wiser businessman. That's a fact. That's a fact. But we go get into all of that. But yo, all right, so back to Prince. So you telling me, and why he doing this? He's still playing basketball. Nigga was on the basketball team and all that. Nigga 4 foot nothing. Nigga like 4'11" on some real shit. Barely even touching 5 foot, right? Hold on. What's going on, Black? Tell Tony you better chill out, B. Shit got calls all doing the show and all type shit. Yeah, take that shit off the screen. This nigga got calls all doing the show. Let me come back to this. Hey, I can't fuck with this nigga B. He ain't got calls. Tell his secretary handle that shit, B. I don't know what's going on. But yo, listen, so boom. Alright, so what we saying? The nigga playing basketball and all of that. Nigga like 4 foot nothing. Nigga like 5 foot for real, 4'11". Nigga playing basketball, doing music and all of that. Self-taught. By the time he's 16, 17, this nigga done mastered the guitar. He done mastered the keyboards. He done mastered the bass. He done mastered the drums. The nigga is playing the trumpet. The nigga is playing the saxophone, right? The nigga playing mad instruments. All respect through the mic. All respect through the mic. I really don't remember Mike playing too many instruments. Yo, if somebody want to pull up and give their take on it, y'all can pull up and give your take on it. It ain't gotta be just me talking about this. But since it's just me right now, I don't remember Mike playing too many instruments. Mike was a student of Jackie Wilson. Mike was a student of James Brown, right? Mike was the best entertainer on the planet Earth. The dance moves, the style, the mystique that go behind that, right? Mike was the best at that. But if we get the singing, Empress Cat shout it out, Cuba shout it out. If we get the singing, right? Mike only had like maybe 2 or 3 2 octaves he could reach, right? He ain't have no hell of a range on the octave scale. Right, Mike stayed in that monotone sound. Mike was a one-tone type of dude when you heard Mike, he, and all that shit, right? Word, Mike was on that shit. He was monotone, so we can't give Mike the range on the octave scale, right? Stevie Wonder, we already know Stevie Wonder's a genius. Stevie Wonder said Prince is the only dude he know, the only one on the planet Earth he know that could go from bass, alto, tenor, soprano, whatever, all in one song. All in one song to make that shit sound fly in the motherfucker. Like the nigga octaves, the nigga range and his octaves. Nigga wasn't playing no games, B. You gotta give him that. Artist, entertainer, nigga wrote his own joints. Mike wrote some joints, or he co-wrote. Mike's biggest claim to fame was a co-writing, but you know when you're a certain artist, they just throw you that title, right? They just throw you that title. You might not have really even put a pen to paper, right? But you Michael, so you'll give you a little production, you know what I mean? No credits on the joint, get you a little bit more money. But let's say Mike did write some of the joints. Mike's biggest hits, Quincy Jones, Saida Garrett. Throw the picture up of Saida Garrett and Mike, P. Throw the joint with Quincy and Mike up, and the joint with Saida Garrett and Mike, right? Saida Garrett, she was a background singer for the longest. She stepped out and went solo for a minute, but her career ain't really pop because Saida was a better writer than she was a performer any day of the week. That's how she put a lot of joints on Michael Jackson shit, right? Quincy Jones, okay. Quincy been there since the beginning. Off the Wall, Quincy was around right then. Then the hit that broke that nigga, that sent that nigga to the moon. Thriller, that's Quincy right there. Word, that's Quincy right there. Like, I don't know though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's all this nigga right here. That's all Quincy. That's the genius. Quincy been around since Ray Charles. Quincy been around since Cab Calloway. Quincy been around since Billy Eckstein. Quincy been around with Nat King Cole and all of them, the Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis. I mean, all them niggas over, Dean Martin and all them niggas, right? Quincy been around. Quincy know music like no other. All right, so let's talk about it. Jackson 5 had their thing. Jackson 5 was a smash, but you could only be a bubblegum popcorn group for so long. Hence the nigga Ralph from New Edition, Ralph Tresvant. That's why he could never pop like that, because niggas always looked at him as the bubblegum popcorn nigga. You know what I mean? Word. But yo, so Jackson 5, they popping, but you can't be a fucking popcorn bubblegum group but for so long, right? Throw the Jackson 5 up there. Throw Jermaine up there. Matter of fact, throw Jermaine up there. You can only be a little popcorn group but for so long, right? And then this nigga right here, this nigga Jermaine, he get all fly. He fall in love and all that with Baby Gordon's daughter and all that. Remember that? He fell in love with the daughter and all of that. He went and got married and left the group and all that good shit. Got sick of Joe. Yeah, nigga seen the documentary. Yeah, I seen that shit when Jermaine got married. He was like, fuck that nigga Joe. He trying to hit something and have some babies and all of that. He out. I mean, fuck that nigga Joe, yo. Catherine screaming, please, Jermaine, don't go. That nigga like, fuck that nigga Joe. I'm out. Word, I'm out the group and all of that. Little Mario, shout it out. Miss Chocolate Devon, shout it out. Word. But yo, the nigga out, right? So boom. So Jackson 5, you really couldn't. Oh boy, Jackie was a little bit too old. You know, Jackie was the oldest. That nigga getting up there in age. Tito playing the bass. He always got a job. He could write songs and all that. He always got a job. Marlon, what happened to Marlon? Like, that nigga fell off after the Jackson 5. They came back doing that Pepsi reunion tour with Mike shit on Corn Fire and all of that, right? But other than that, they was dead. It was a wrap, right? Then the Off the Wall joint. That's when Mike stepped out on his own. That was when Mike was like, yo, I'm about to show them niggas who I am. You know what I mean? I could do it without them niggas. Matter of fact, if truth be told, I was kind of holding them niggas down. Right? Go to that picture with Mike around that Off the Wall time. I was kind of holding them niggas down. So Mike hit that Off the Wall on him, right? And pop. But he ain't pop like he wanted to pop. He was still R&B. He ain't crossed over yet. He was still R&B. It don't matter. Just throw a picture up of Mike. He was still R&B. He ain't crossed over yet, right? Matter of fact, throw the joint with the Billie Jean jacket on and all that. Yeah, leave it up, boom, don't matter. Anyway, he was still motherfucking R&B. He was still in the black sector. You understand me? On that Off the Wall joint. He ain't crossed over. He ain't hit that pop culture yet. It wasn't until he got with Quincy. And Quincy put all that knowledge about the game that he ran it down the mic real quick. Then you had Thriller. You had Thriller, the album like no other. That shit sent that nigga into the hemisphere. That nigga all in the pop culture. You know what I mean? He all in the light rock culture and all that good shit, right? The nigga start getting spins more than that R&B. That's a good picture right there. Because that's Saida Garrett right there. That's what we talking about. But anyway, yeah, Mike changed the game. That Thriller shit changed the game. I put him out there as the best entertainer, right? The nigga from Shalimar, Jeffrey Wright, he claimed that he taught Mike how to do the moonwalk, but it wasn't that nigga. He was stunting. The real nigga who taught Mike how to do the moonwalk was the nigga from Breaking, the little short one, the nigga that had the boom and all that. It's a whole documentary about that nigga. He taught the nigga how to do the moonwalk. Mike had him all out the house and all type shit because he had first popped the shit off in the movie Breaking. Then if you saw, Mike came out with that shit real quick, right? But anyway, the nigga's the best entertainer. His style was like no other. Niggas say this nigga didn't even really talk like that. Niggas say this nigga got voice is raspy as mine. Like this nigga ain't really even talk like that. So he had the mystique. You got to have the mystique. The pop over there, he had that. He had the name first. He had Jackson. He Michael Jackson. Then he had that mystique. When he left Jackson 5, he brought that mystique with him. You know what I mean? The soft voice. You know what I mean? The spending money all crazy on the Jerry curl, and that's before he got touched up. I think he had just touched up his nose and maybe his lips back then. He wasn't really touched up. You know what I mean? But he started spending that money, brought the mystique with him. He was already a dancer once again. He the student of Jackie Wilson. He the student of James Brown. That's all he watched growing up. You understand me? If Jackie Wilson would have had a little longer career or would have been in a little bit more time with James Brown, James would have been in trouble because James took all his shit from Jackie. That's a fact. And Jackie was a pretty nigga, no freaky, right? So bang. He studied Jackie Wilson. He studied James Brown. He become Mike like no other. He become that dude, right? He become that dude, Mike like no other. Then he bring the little shiny shit out. They got the high water pants with the black penny loafers, with the shiny ass socks. Mystique like a motherfucker. Then he pop out with one glove. Niggas wear 2 gloves. This nigga pop out with 1 glove. Mystique. Nigga did that shit, right? But if we get to music, Mike ain't play no instruments on that joint. If we get to singing, Mike only hit 1 or 2 octaves. Mike can't take you to church. Some say the same shit about Beyonce. They say Beyonce is an entertainer, but she can't take you to church. Fantasia could take you to church. Jasmine Sullivan could take you to church. You know what I mean? They say, you know what I mean? Maybe even, I might even get Kelly. Kelly might be able to take you to church. Michelle and all that. You know what I mean? Beyonce could do her thing. She could blow. No freaky. She could do her thing. She could sing. She could hold a tune. She's dumb nice. But I think she a better entertainer than she is a singer. I think Mary J will wrap circles around it. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. But some say Beyonce is a better entertainer. All right, so let's get back to Mike. Mike is the best entertainer. Jill Scott will wrap circles around the big cat. Nari, shout it out. Anybody want to pull up, you can pull up. But yo, yeah, Jill Scott will wrap circles around us. A lot of singers that will wrap circles around Beyonce, but they ain't got that mystique. They ain't got that pop quality. They don't have that character. Michael had all of that. Mickey Howard, Word Truck, Whitney Houston, Word Truck. Let's talk about it. They don't want to talk about Mickey Howard, Phyllis Hyman, and all that good shit. You throwing me off, Truck. You throwing me off, Truck. You start calling them names, Truck. You gotta be easy. But anyway, all right, so bang. The nigga, the mystique, right? But Mike ain't played no instruments. Mike only had a few octaves he could sing in. Now let's go back to Prince. Throw Prince up there. Any Prince picture. When them niggas is flying all that, no freaky. So let's go to Mr. Roger Prince Nelson. Oh, let's stay on Mike real quick though. Stay right there. Stay right there where you at, Pete. Leave it right there. Let's stay on Mike real quick. Once again, that's how Mike was born. You see around that middle picture right there? That's how Mike was born. Then he flipped it. He flipped it with the little, the Billie Jean jacket. The nigga just did a little touch up. It ain't much. Little touch up. Nigga Jerry Kill got a little wetter, no freaky. The nigga, you know what I mean, nose got a little pointier, no freaky. And the lips, he thinned them out a little bit more. All right, then he went all the way. That nigga went to the Joker. That nigga went to Liz Taylor. This nigga went to Ezo down the yellow brick road type shit. This nigga looked like the Scarecrow out this motherfucker. He did some other shit, but we ain't gonna talk about that though. But let's go to Prince, right in the middle. No freaky, that nigga was born like that. That nigga ain't had a motherfucking facelift or a touch-up, nothing. That nigga came out the womb looking like that. Then, you know, we flip it over right behind the Billie Jean joint. That's when he went and got fly and put the Goldie. He put the Goldie perm on niggas. He fucked niggas up with the Goldie perm. But other than the Goldie perm, that nigga looked like that. Then the nigga took that Prince shit to another level. He went to fucking Europe back in the 1700s or some shit. The nigga went with the ruffles and the lace and all that good shit, right? All right, bang. But back to Prince, right? I told you this nigga self-taught. Mad instruments. By the time he was 15, 16 years old, this nigga got mad instruments. This nigga was playing in bands. You know what I mean? I think they had a band called Grand Central back in Minneapolis. That's where him and Morris Day first linked up at. Morris Day was trying to be the drummer in Grand Central and all of that, right? Him and Morris Day go back since then. You understand me? And there was another nigga named Jelly Bean Johnson. Word, they go Morris right there. Him and Morris go back since then, right? Boom. So a nigga played in mad different bands. And everybody said, yo, this nigga was the best. Yo, who the fuck is that little nigga? Like, this nigga's the best they ever heard, ever seen, right? All right, so bang. Then in high school, they got another band, him and Andre Simone. This time it's him and Andre. If you don't know who Andre Simone is, good people, Andre Simone was back in the day. He was Prince man and all that. He played the bass guitar. Matter of fact, when Prince got kicked out the house at a young age, he went to go live with Andre and Andre moms down in the basement. Andre is the nigga who married Jody Watley back in the day. Give you all a little history and all of that. Yeah, Andre married Jody Watley when Jody Watley was popping. Yeah, when she had left Shalimar, she was fucking with Jeffrey in Shalimar. I thought the nigga Jeffrey was on some, but all them niggas looked like that back then. But Jody and Jeffrey was rocking since Soul Train. Jody and Jeffrey been rocking, right? Got the Shalimar, the shit got funky. She left Shalimar, she got with this nigga I'm talking about now, who was Prince's best man, like his best friend. He lived with the nigga and all of that, Andre Simone. All right, so now him and Andre Simone got the band. They battling, they doing their thing. This nigga name been up for a minute. Right? All right, so bang. Then all of a sudden, 17 years old, this little short 4'11" pretty motherfucker with an afro and all of that, pop on the scene. The Warner Brothers like no other. Leave it right there, Black. He pop on the scene with Warner Brothers like no other. The first nigga to have a contract like that at 17 years old. Written, produced, composed, and arranged all by him. That means nobody touching that shit. He do that what he want. He got full control over that. Word, I know my stuff. I know a little something. He got full control over all of that, right? 17 years old. Mike couldn't do that. Because Mike, you got it. Mike had, this is one thing. When it comes to the music industry, especially back then, it's one thing to be a singer and to be the top singer or the nigga that's well known, or a nigga like Michael. You could push your weight a little round, right? But remember, some niggas will tell you stay in your place because you only a singer. When you a nigga like Prince, who could sing, I don't need the drum. I don't need your studio band. I'm doing this shit myself. I don't need no backup singers. I'm doing this shit myself. I don't need your fucking engineer. I got my man, me and my man go engineer this shit ourselves. See, when you could do that right there, you could really push your weight around. Because now you more than just a one-show pony. All respect through the mic. But you more now than just a one-show pony. You coming with many things to the table. Play every instrument, producing, writing, all that good shit. You bringing all that shit to the table. Hey, yo, my dogs is bugging. Y'all hold on, little dog. My dogs don't like the neighbor's dogs. They be. But anyway, you bringing all that to the table so you could push your weight around. You could really push your weight around. That nigga was more than a one-show pony. All right? So now he get that deal. right? Now, let's talk about it. Pause yourself. Hold on real quick. Black, hold me down real quick, Black. Put you back on the joint real quick. But like I said, anybody, oh, they didn't stop. I ain't going nowhere. Anybody want to pull up, you could pull up. Anybody want to pull up, you could pull up. Now, Reed, you had a lot to say yesterday. You had a lot to say yesterday, now, Reed. Word. Benzo, you had a lot to say. Black to the P. You was ready to scrap over Michael B. Stop playing with me. But anyway, niggas want to be quiet now. All right. So anyway, once again, let's talk about who put niggas on. Name a nigga Mike put on besides Brownstone. Somebody please name a nigga Mike put on besides Brownstone. Somebody please name a group or a nigga Mike put on besides Brownstone. Mike did one thing you could say he half-ass put that nigga on. If you remember Rockwell, that's Brownstone right there, yo. If you remember Rockwell was Baby Gordon's son. Baby Gordon didn't want his son in the business. So he switched his name, got a little name called Rockwell, and he went and he snuck to Mike. Like, yo, Mike, I need some help. Mike is the one singing background who helped him out on the joint. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Yeah, I remember that shit. I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Word. That's that nigga Rockwell. Yeah, that's that nigga Rockwell. All right. So besides Rockwell, who was Baby Gordon's son, so he really ain't need to be put on. He Baby Gordon's son. He just ran the mic because Pops wanted to help him out. Okay. So besides Rockwell, who he put on besides them three ladies right there? Even his sister, Janet. Even Janet. Janet had one song with the nigga. They had one song together. Him and Janet had one song. The whole time Janet been singing, the whole time Janet been popping, they had one song together. And by the time they got to the one song that they had together, Janet was already Janet. She was already Penny from Good Times. She was already the nigga, what that nigga name was, Willis. What Willis girlfriend, whatever the fuck his name is, little short nigga from Different Strokes, the brother. He was already that nigga girlfriend on Different Strokes. She was already Janet. She already had an album out. She was already popping. But here go the funny and ironic thing about that shit. The niggas who produced her album, the niggas that made her pop, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, where they come from? Where they come from? Where Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis come from? Them Minnesota niggas. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Minnesota niggas. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis was in the time. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis are Prince proteges. Let's talk about it. So really, besides Brownstone and half-ass Rockwell, who Mike put on? Let's talk about who Prince put on. We already said Morris Day. We already said Morris Day in the time. Them two niggas right there, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis. We already said that they had a guitar player named Jesse. Jesse went solo and did his thing. Who Mike put on? All right, so we got Tom. That's Prince right there, right? Then we got that chick right there, Sinead O'Connor. He ain't put Sinead O'Connor on, but what he did for Sinead O'Connor, he had a song called Nothing Compares to You that he had on a previous album. Leave it right there for a minute, Black. He had a song called Nothing Compares to You that he had on a previous album. She wanted to record it. He let her record it, a song that he wrote, and the chick won her only Grammy with a Prince song. So we got the Tom, we got Sinead O'Connor. Then we got Shanna Easton. Remember Shanna Easton, the chick from overseas? Her career was damn near done until she ran across Prince in that Sign of the Times era. Remember, he was writing all type songs for her in the Sign of the Times era. He had her on a couple joints on the Sign of the Times album. The chick Shanna Easton, her career was almost dead. He brought her back. So now we got the Tom, we got Sinead O'Connor, we got Shanna Easton, right? Who else we got? You ain't got to pull no more pictures. Put on a picture of Prince. Who else we got? We got, boom, let me give y'all a story about Tom. Alexander O'Neal. Y'all niggas remember Alexander O'Neal? Remember Sherelle and Alexander O'Neal back in the day and all that? Alexander O'Neal, when the Tom first got together, they was a group called Flight Time. When they was a group called Flight Time, Alexander O'Neal was the lead singer. Morris played the drums. Morris is a drummer by trade. That's his trade in the music business. He a drummer. Morris played the drums. Alexander O'Neal was the lead singer. They was Flight Time. While they Flight Time, and they still running around Minneapolis doing the clubs and all that, Princeton already popped on like his first or second album. He ain't already popped, right? So while he popping, he out doing his thing. He come back, he linked back up with his childhood friend Morris. Morris like, yo, we got the Flight Time shit going on. You remember Jimmy and Terry and all that? Yeah, we got this nigga Alex. Remember Alex? That nigga the lead singer. Now, mind you, Prince about to start managing the band. Soon as Alex heard Prince was managing the band, Alex flipped this wig. That nigga started demanding all type shit because he thinking Prince got that paper now. He like, yo, I'm gonna need this. I'm gonna need that. Yo, we gotta do this. We gotta do that. But Prince was like, oh, word, that's what that, you want it like that? Aight, fuck it. Yo, bring Morris from behind the drums. Kick that nigga out the group. That's how Alexander O'Neal got put out the group, because he was demanding shit. Alexander O'Neal was supposed to be the lead singer for Time, because he was the lead singer when they was Flight Time. Morris was the drummer, but then Prince said he flipped it. If you watch little documentaries, Prince said he flipped it. He said he looked at Tom as being his alter ego. So while he was on his pretty freaky shit, Morris was his alter ego. Morris was supposed to be the pimpish type of style. So if you look at Tom, they look like players. They sung player type songs, pimpish type songs. You look all in the movie, Jerome holding the mirror, Morris getting pretty and all that. He was on his pretty boy shit, right? So bang. They kick Alexander O'Neal out the group. Morris come off the drums, no freaky, and he the front man now. Hence you got the group Tom. So bang. So we got Tom, we got Sienna Easton, we got Sinead O'Connor. Whoever remember, it was a group back in the day called the Staple Singers. Right? They from back in the day. Mavis Staple, Pop Staple, and all of them. Oh, I forgot about them. Leave it right there. We forgot about, that's Vanity. Vanity 6. He put Vanity 6 on. Then he flipped it when him and Vanity fell out. He went and got Apollonia and replaced Vanity with the Apollonia. So now we got Tom, we got Sheila Easton, we got Sinead O'Connor, we got Vanity 6, we got Apollonia, right? Right? Then let's not forget he brought Shaka Khan back. Shaka Khan, let me rock you, Shaka Khan. Let me rock you, that's all I want to do, Shaka Khan. Prince, that's Prince joint. He wrote that joint. He brought Shaka back. Then he got the beautiful Sheila E., the percussionist extraordinaire. He got Sheila E. So now we got Tom. Hold on with me, Black Bear with me. Don't switch black. We got Tom. We got Sheila E. We got Sinead O'Connor. We got Shenna Easton. We got Apollonia. We got Vanity. Morris had a solo career, so we got Morris. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis stepped down their own production shit, so we got Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Jesse, who was the the guitar player for the Time, he stepped down and had an album, so we got Jesse. So damn, nigga, we got about 8 niggas already, and we ain't done. He brought a group to the table called The Family. He brought a group to the table called Maserati. We ain't done yet. He brought Larry Graham back. Anybody who remember Larry Graham? You're 1 in a million chance of a lifetime. Yeah, I remember that nigga Larry. Deep voice nigga. He brought that nigga Larry Graham back. Like, let's talk about it. Who Mike put on? Who Mike put on? Mike put Brownstone on. My man P, the Engine P, he was talking about Jermaine and all of them yesterday. He was saying Jermaine and all of them couldn't have been them without Mike. That may be true. He said he put the whole family on. Okay, that may be true. But my argument was, if he had the power to put the whole family on, you see, Jermaine was talented. He was already talented. He played the guitar and he could sing. Janet, she talented. But if he had the power to put the whole family on, LaToya ain't pop. No, LaToya ain't pop until she started doing the Playboy, Playgirl shit. LaToya ain't pop, all right? Then who else? LaToya ain't pop. Reby only had that one little Centipede joint, and the Centipede joint was the only little hot little single. The rest of that shit was garbage. Reby ain't pop. Randy tried to jump out there, and y'all be getting it fucked up. The Randy from the TV show was not the baby brother Randy. That ain't the same Randy. It's a different Randy. Randy tried to pop out there. Randy ain't pop, so he really ain't had the power to put his own family on. Janet was already talented with the acting and the singing. Jermaine was Jermaine. He was talented. Everybody else who tried to jump out, they flopped. And even Jermaine only had that one song. Why don't you do what you do want to do it to do to me? Yeah. Jermaine only had that shit. Other than that shit, Jermaine wasn't popping. Jermaine wasn't popping. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Mike really ain't put nobody on. Mike ain't play no instruments. Mike ain't write too many songs. Every joint you hear, Prince wrote that shit. Okay, so Nari gave me the argument yesterday. Nari was talking about Wendy and Lisa. Yeah, Wendy and Lisa. They was an inspiration on the Purple Rain album. Matter of fact, the song Doves Cry, they was an inspiration for the beat, for the rhythm on Dove Cry. The lyrics and all that, that's Prince. But that's another career he popped off, Wendy and Lisa. And for those who don't know, Wendy and Lisa, they was girlfriend and girlfriend. That's why they stayed together. You gotta do your history. You gotta watch the show. Wendy and Lisa was, yeah, that's why it was always Wendy and Lisa. They always together. They inseparable because they've been a couple for eons. Word. All right. So we got the nigga ain't put nobody on. The nigga ain't write no songs. The nigga paid millions of dollars to look like that. Prince came out the womb looking like that. Besides the Goldie Perm, that nigga came out the womb looking like that. That nigga played multiple instruments. That nigga put mad niggas on. And let's go to the radio. I heard Alicia Keys do a Prince remake. Once again, I heard Sinead O'Connor do a Prince remake. Melissa Morgan, back in the day, Do Me Baby. That's a Prince song. She did a Prince remake. Shaka Khan did a Prince remake. TLC took the Girlfriend's joint and did a Prince remake. Right? I don't know too many Michael remakes, but I'm gonna give you credit with that though, Michael. It ain't too many that could remake your style. That's a fact. It ain't too many that can do it like you. So I'll flip the coin on that and say it ain't too many people that can sing a song like Mike. But if you flip the coin again, it ain't too many people that can sing a song like Prince. And they still took that song and did what they did with it. I don't know. I think people were more flabbergasted and caught in a stage of awe by the presence of Mike, by the image of Mike, by the mystique of Mike. You know what I mean? Always with the dark glasses on. Niggas was wearing the Corona masks way back then. Before a nigga knew about Corona, Mike had the Corona mask on, right? Mike had the Elephant Man bones, right? Mike did the sneaky shit, the poor. Since you wanted to bring that up yesterday, let me tell you how that shit went down, Black to the P. You right. Michael did buy the Beatles shit, but he did some slime bullshit. Him and Paul McCartney was having a chat the day earlier. And Mike was talking about money and investing and all of that and how to get more money. And it was Paul who told him, yo, if you really want to get money, you need to go by the masters of some of these artists. Because you could go by the masters of some of these artists and get the residuals every year. Mike was like, yo, word, that's what's up. Paul good looking. Next day, that nigga went and bought the Beatles shit. That nigga did some slime bullshit, no freaky. That nigga did some greasy shit, no freaky. P, I'ma tell you, P, hey, yo, listen, you go get some money over here, P. Yeah, I'm over here fucking around with niggas. You come over here and get some money with me. All you gotta do is do this and do that, P. And then you like a word, Sonny. All right. And then you fuck around and go buy my position in the company out. What type of peanut butter and jelly shit is that? That's some slime bullshit. Mike was a shrewd ass businessman, P.
Mike was a genius.
P. Mike was a shrewd ass businessman. P. That nigga said him and Paul was Paul tell the story all the time. You go on YouTube right now. Paul got no problem telling the story. Paul like, yo, me and this, we was talking. We was in the studio with the Ebony and Ivory joint. We in there making the song and all that. We in there talking. Mike talking about he trying to get more money and do this and do that. I'm telling Mike, hey, yo, listen, this is what you need to do. Go check the masters and all that. See what artists are popping. And if that artist don't own their masters, go buy their masters. You getting the residuals. Mike sitting there soaking all that shit up with a smile on his face and a little soft-ass voice with the Jerry Curl juice dropping on the Billie Jean jacket and all of that. Mike sitting right there eating all that up like your word. I. And the next day, you go buy that nigga, oh shit, that's greasy, P. That's greasy, P. I don't know. That's tight greasy right there. All right. So back to the mystique of Mike. I think people were more caught up in the mystique of Michael than the actual, besides the dancing, the actual talent, music, singing, and musical skills of Michael. Because he didn't play no instruments. And he only sung in 1 or 2 octaves. Right? He only sung in 1 or 2 octaves and he ain't play no instruments. But it was the image. He was a hell of a dancer, hell of an entertainer. He had Jackie Wilson and James Brown down to a science, and then he brought the little breakdance in with it, and then he brought the moonwalk in with it. Yeah, a dancer like no other, a showman like no other, an entertainer like no other. Because Nari made a point yesterday when we was in the back chat talking about it. We all may see somebody and image yourself or look at that person as a role model. Hence Jackie Wilson, James Brown. Hence on Prince End, he had Jackie Wilson and James Brown, but he was a big Joni Mitchell fan. You see, because the niggas was out there in Minnesota. Minnesota different. They ain't really get a lot of black radio stations out there. So they out there listening to Fleetwood Mac. They out there listening to the Beatles. They out there listening to Jimi Hendrix. They out there listening to Janis Joplin. They out there listening to the Grateful Dead and all that, along with the Jackson Fives and the Stevie Wonders and the Temptations. So they had like a little mix of a melting pot as far as music in Minnesota and in Minneapolis. So that may have helped them too. That's why Prince was able to go R&B. But he ain't pop in R&B. Michael popped in R&B first because Michael came from the Jackson Fives. When Prince jumped out, niggas weren't really trying to hear that. Nigga was freaky, nigga coming through in motherfucking trench coats and fucking Speedos on and boots. Nigga was on some extra freaky shit. Motherfucking collars around his neck and all. Niggas wasn't trying to hear that. But the white boys, the punk crowd, the ones who really buy them albums and really buy them tapes and really had your numbers going up, the white boys from the punk crowd and the hard rock crowd and the rock and roll crowd, they was feeling no freaky. They was feeling that nigga Prince. So while Mike was popping the R&B and trying to cross over, Prince kind of started in the crossover and he was trying to come to R&B. Prince didn't get his little R&B, little piece of little clout and fame until he got with Rick James. That's where the whole beef come between Prince and Rick James. Because Rick James was the first one to take Prince on the road. Rick James himself say the nigga is a genius. The nigga is a genius. The nigga play all these instruments, nigga singing all type of octaves, but he, Prince a Gemini. So I guess the strong side of him was the music shit, and he could shine in that shit. But the weak side of him, or the two sides of him that was weaker, was the personality side. They said this nigga had a garbage personality, and he was a control freak and all this and all that good shit, right? Timid and shy for the most part, but still a control freak. That was the Gemini in him. So you let Rick James tell it. Yeah, when it come to playing instruments and singing, nobody was fucking with that nigga, but he ain't had no stage show. So he used to go back. When he opened up for Rick, he'd come off stage after getting booed and all type shit. He'd come off stage and sit backstage and watch the nigga Rick James stage show and his stage performance. And he started implementing that into his style and his program till it got to the point where Rick was like, yo, this nigga looking like me up there, and kicked the nigga off the show. That's a fact. That's a fact. So, again, Prince, songwriter extraordinaire, musical genius, guitar phenom. A lot of black people don't play that guitar like Prince could play it, like the Jimi Hendrix could play it. If you saw, it was The Hall of Fame. They inducted some rock and roll bands into the Hall of Fame around the same time they inducted Prince into the Hall of Fame. So all of them got together and did a song, and they was all playing guitar. It was Tom Petty, it was some other kids. They was all doing a guitar, and they all had guitar solos. When Prince caught his guitar solos, the whole crowd stopped. Niggas start standing up on their feet and all of that. Niggas ain't no little nigga could play like that. He could play that axe like that, right? So we got a musical genius, a songwriter extraordinaire. His vocal ability ranges between many octaves. Not only was he a talent and a brand, he was a brand. And up under his brand came many artists. Again, Sheila Easton. Again, Sinead O'Connor. Again, Mars Day and the Tom. Jesse Johnson. The nigga Mint Condition went to go rock with that nigga. Larry Graham, Mavis Staple, Parliament and Funkadelic. Him and Stevie Wonder got joints together like a genius. So my humble opinion, and after this, if anybody want to pull up and put their argument, we could argue. But my humble opinion, under God's green earth in my lifetime. And hold on. Now before I say that, y'all about to curse me out right now. I know y'all about to curse me out, especially all you Michael Jackson fans. I know y'all about to curse me out, right? It was a little thing going on Instagram and YouTube a few months ago about Chris Brown and Michael Jackson, saying that Chris Brown may be better than Michael Jackson. Let's look at that. Without Michael, there would be no Chris. That's a fact. Without Michael Jackson, there would be no Chris, right? But
No.
hold on, you say stop. Hold on. I see S4H say stop. Let me break it down, S4H. Without Michael Jackson, there would be no Chris Brown. That's a fact. Just like without Dr. J, there would be no Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan surpassed Dr. J, homie.
That's a fact.
Without Dr. J, there would be no Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan surpassed Dr. J. Without Michael Jackson, there would be no Chris Brown. But I think Chris, if he haven't already, might surpass Mike. The only way he's not going to surpass Mike is because Mike had a mystique, and he was in that misogynistic era, and they was doing all this, wearing all this and wearing all that. He had a mystique like no other. Chris would never have that mystique like Mike. Well, if you come to dancing, Chris is more athletic. He watched Mike, but he more athletic. He got more moves than Mike when it come to dancing. When it come to singing, Chris got way more octaves than Mike when it come to singing. And Chris, it ain't no fun, no issues about Chris when he's singing. You know, he talking to the chicks. We had to wonder sometimes about who Mike talking to, because all this shit, we ain't gonna talk about that shit. But all this shit, all this shit that came with Mike, we had to wonder who the fuck Mike was talking to, right? But at the end of the day, I'm gonna say it like this, S4X and you my G. Let's just think about it. Without Dr. J, there's no Michael Jordan. Michael surpassed the shit out of Dr. J. Without Michael Jackson, there's no Chris Brown. But Chris is nasty.
No,
Usher not fucking with Chris, Truck. Usher not fucking with Chris when it comes to the dancing.
That's debatable. That's arguable.
That's my opinion. Who think Usher fucking with Chris, yo?
Without Mike, there will be no Usher, no Chris Brown, no Omarion, none of them dancing ass niggas. You know
that's a fact. But without, once again though, Pete, without Jackie Wilson and James Brown, there'd be no Mike.
Right. So
and Mike surpassed them.
Right. But Mike went another way with his. Mike was able to serenade chicks, dance, like you said, Mike the greatest entertainer of all time. You feel what I'm saying? So
hold on, Mike was able to serenade who?
Chicks. Hey yo, don't do that to my boy, yo. But
hey, all right, so hold on. Mike made a song, one of Mike's illest songs. Everybody thought he was talking about a chick. That shit was about a mouse. That shit was about a fucking mouse, nigga.
Right, so
everybody thought this nigga was talking to his bitch.
Who was you and Not Alone to?
All right, so I'm thinking Jermaine was talking to chicks. If you watch the documentary, Jermaine and Tito trying to bang something, Mike was like, what y'all doing? I mean, he was a little kid and all that, but I don't know, B. I think the songs that Mike was singing, I don't know, B. I ain't gonna call Mike. I don't know nothing about Mike shit, so I'm just saying some questions with Mike. Even though Prince had the ass out, no freaky, doing all type of freaky shit on YouTube, but wasn't no questions about that nigga. That nigga brought the baddest pieces to the game on his shoulder, nigga, on his arm. The baddest pieces. This nigga Mike went and got Elvis Presley daughter. What type of peanut butter? This nigga went and got, what's that bitch name? Lisa Ann Maria, whatever the fuck Presley, Elvis Presley daughter that nigga went and got. Then he went and artificially assimilated or whatever.
Presley.
Lisa Marie Presley. Then he went and artificially, and they say the kids ain't even his. The old ugly, I don't mind a chick being white. I don't care if the chick green or purple, as long as she bad, nigga. He went and got that old ugly piece of thing. I don't know, B. I don't know. I don't know, B. Then all the little kid shit, Macaulay Culkin and Home Alone type shit. I don't know, nigga. I don't know, my nigga.
I
don't know who the fuck Mike was singing to. I'm just saying, I don't know who Mike was singing to. I knew who Prince was singing to, nigga. I know he was singing to a girl.
You ain't always knew who Prince was singing to either. Like, keep it 100. Like, Prince had the gay mystique too. Like, we ain't about to say Prince was a manly man.
You right.
He wasn't. He was wearing blouses and
Robert
all that.
Williams said, let me start highlighting some of these comments, yo. That's why I'm fucking up on my comments, yeah. Robert Williams, I agree with you 100%, Robert Williams. I agree, but I want to know what all that hot shit was when we was in the background. Wasn't Benzo supposed to come up with stats and statistics and all of this? Nah, we was tight back there in the background because I was talking about her baby Mike. You was ready to chop my beard off, nigga, because I said something ill about Mike. Where that shit at, nigga?
Nah, I fucks with Mike. You know what I'm saying? I fucks with Prince too, though. I was just giving you the debate. You know what I'm saying? We gonna have a debate. Let's have a debate. You know what I'm saying? You saying all this stuff about Prince that made him great. We talking, you know what I'm saying, but then you broke it down, said I'm talking about musically, only music. You know what I'm saying?
I'm only saying that's the thing. When I make this topic right here, I'm only talking about musical skills, artistry. I'm talking about the art of music. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about now you can throw the entertainment in there.
Writing and singing.
I'm talking about writing, composing, arranging, the instruments, singing, all of that. When you deal with that, Prince cannot be touched, not only by Mike. It's a lot of motherfuckers that can't touch Prince when it comes to that. A lot of motherfuckers play instruments and self-taught, but they may play like 4 or 5 instruments. Most of the people play the guitar, the drums, and the keyboard if they self-taught. This nigga play instruments niggas weren't thinking about, cellos and violins and all type shit. And
so tell me what you want, Sonny. When you go into a concert, if you had to go to a Michael Jackson or a Prince concert, is you going to get entertained or you going to just hear the music?
That was the best question right there, because you asked that question yesterday, and you asked which one of them gonna be sold out. If Mike was at the Garden and Prince was at the Barclay joint, who go sell out? And I think Nari said both of them will sell out. Now, what I'm gonna say is this. Me personally, now what you go have is a lot more people that's into entertainment. So Mike shit is going to be sold out before Prince. That's my opinion, because you're going to have a lot more people into the entertainment factor. But when you have people like me who played the guitar as a kid, who played the guitar coming up, and you have people that play instruments, and that's in that aspect of it, they going to see Prince all day because they respect his craft. They respect the fact that, nigga, you play 46 of these motherfuckers. I was struggling with the guitar, nigga. How the fuck you picked up 46, 47 instruments? Oh, nigga, you could sing bass, tenor, alto, and soprano and all that shit, nigga. I can only sing tenor, nigga. How the fuck you do that? And you writing your shit, nigga? I gotta go get P to write my shit, nigga. How you doing that? If you do like that, you're going to see Prince. But if you into the entertainment, if you into the awe and the mystique, if you into the dancing, if you into all of that, you're going to see Michael. It depends on what you into.
Yeah, I feel you. So I mean, I agree with you. You said Mike shit gonna sell out just for entertainment purposes only.
But just for entertainment only, because you got more people that's into the entertainment fact than the actual artistry of it.
You know,
when you go hear Earth, Wind, and Fire, you want to hear Maurice and you want to hear Philip Bailey hit that high note, but you ain't really paying attention to Maurice's brother that's in the background on that bass, thumping the shit out that bass. You ain't paying attention to the horn section. That's on point.
Yeah.
But every movement in the
Yeah.
horn section, they ain't missing a note.
But they
You ain't paying,
entertain too, though. Earth, Wind,
yeah,
and
you
Fire
paying
show
attention
was
more
fire.
to Feel It Bailey when you hit that high note though. And
Yeah, yeah,
Maurice.
that reasons. That
Word.
reasons. That's a fact.
Word.
That's a fact.
I give you one better. Anderson .Paak. That nigga's a genius. This nigga playing like 3 or 4 bands. He got the Free Nationals. He got another band. Nigga play the drums. He play the keyboards. He play the guitar. He write. He produced all that shit. Dre had caught that nigga when he was young. That nigga's a genius, right? But if you into entertainment, you ain't really coming to see Anderson. You coming to see Anderson for his musical skills. That's why he had to team up with Bruno. Bruno
Right, so
bought
let
the
me ask you a
ladies.
question
Bruno
then,
bought the
Sonny.
pretty shit.
Let me ask you a question, Sonny. You think Prince can follow up Mike? I mean, like a lot of niggas say, like Busta Rhymes, he a hard act to follow. Like you don't want to come on after Busta. You know what I'm saying? DMX, you don't want to come on after DMX because they, you know what I'm saying? They just wow out. Like
You just heard what they said.
crazy.
You just said Buster and DMX. Now, in order career, you are right. And everything I've always heard people say, I'm never going behind X, and I'm never going behind Buster. I think every artist in that era said, I ain't never going behind Michael, and I ain't never going behind Prince. But if Prince and Michael had to do it like that, I think Michael, you go see the best dancing you ever seen Michael do that night. But on the flip side of that, you go hear the best guitar playing and the best whatever you ever heard that night from that nigga Prince. Because they made each other great, still sharp and still. They made each other great. But just like nobody want to go against Busta and DMX, nobody else wanted to go against them 2 niggas.
Right. So you don't think Prince could have followed up Mike? Mike, his show would have been too crazy.
Nah, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. I'm saying if anybody could follow up Mike, it could only be Prince. If it could be done, it could only be a nigga like Prince.
You saying vice versa?
And if anybody could follow up Prince, it could only be a nigga like Mike. Because once Prince leave the stage and it tore it down with all the instruments and jumping off a motherfucking 20-foot tall speakers and high heels on and doing all this and doing all that, ain't nobody else gonna want to come out playing no instrument. You got to bring the best entertainer out, and the best entertainer go be Michael. Now, if Michael went first with all the entertainment shit, ain't nobody gonna want to see nobody else dance. Can't nobody compare to Mike. So you gonna have to bring the best musician now. You gonna have to bring the best artist out, and that's gonna be Prince. You dig me, Robert Williams? Word.
I like the way you put that. I do. I like the way you summed that up. That you got that. Because I mean,
Word.
personally, I don't think nobody want to follow up Mike, but you said that. And personally, I think you're right. And probably nobody want to go behind Prince neither. They show closers. That's what they are. They closers. You know what I'm saying? They shut the shit down once they get on.
Oh, yo, Truck, you just fucked me up, Truck. Hold on. Truck say, yo, who more talented, Prince or Stevie? I gotta give it to Prince for the simple fact. Again, Truck, 46 instruments, bruh. Yeah, I mean, like Stevie was blind, but
Stevie probably beat his ass on that
yeah,
piano.
he probably fuck that nigga up on some synthesizers and some keyboards. Yeah, Stevie go fuck that nigga up on some synthesizers and some keyboards. But you touch anything else, Truck, it's gonna be a problem. You touch a trumpet, it's gonna be a problem. You touch a saxophone, it's gonna be a problem. Stevie may be able to play drums.
Because Stevie got octaves too. So who the better singer?
Oh, they depend on the type of voices you like. No freaky. But I'm gonna go with Prince again. Who the better songwriter? I'm gonna have to go Stevie. Who's the better singer? I'm gonna have to go Prince.
So Stevie Ray Charles.
Stevie Ray Charles. I'm gonna go with Ray because Ray changed the game. Ray did what Sam Cooke did. Ray and Sam Cooke was the 2 that brought gospel sounding music and that gospel feeling to secular music, the blues and all that shit. They brought that feeling. Sam Cooke and Ray Charles. So I gotta go Ray.
Plus, Ray was a musical genius.
That's a fact, Robert. The nigga wrote me. See, Robert know his shit. You sure you don't want to pull up Robert Ville? Shout it out, Ville. You sure you know your shit? This nigga wrote musical notes and all type shit. You know how ill it is to write musical notes, nigga. The niggas was a genius. He was a fucking genius on the artistry and musical side. Michael was a genius on the entertainment,
performance,
the performance, the eye catching. all of that. Mike was a genius with that.
And he had great songs, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
They both had great
I give you
songs.
that, because even if somebody was writing for Mike, or even if Mike was co-writing, Mike ain't saying anything. He picked the best songs. Mad niggas was writing shit for Mike. Mike ain't want it. He wasn't singing everybody's shit. If that
I'm
shit
not gonna
wasn't
lie,
right,
Sonny. I heard
that
Mike
shit
used
wasn't
to
right.
go in there and take people's songs. I heard he took a couple of songs from
Yeah,
a
he
couple of
took a
artists.
couple joints. Word. Mike was
That's a
vicious, nigga. Yo, Quincy Jones. I know you don't like Quincy. You call Quincy what you call Quincy. But Quincy Jones say what you'll see of Mike. I saw the documentary. Quincy say what you see of Mike was just where it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be something for you to see. He say Mike be in the back talking all type of shit. Talking all type of shit. Mike's voice was never like that. He say Mike be in the back talking all type of shit. Yeah.
Yeah. They got a couple of times Mike's voice got caught he got like a little deep pitched voice. It ain't really deep, but it's deeper than hello. It's deeper than that shit.
That nigga sound like Smokey Robinson. Bro, that nigga sound like Smokey Robinson, nigga. That nigga got the ill pretty shit like Smokey Robinson, nigga. Word.
Smokey was that dude back in the day, bro.
Mike had great writers. Mike co-wrote too, but Mike had great writers. Saida Garrett does not get her proper respect when it comes to Michael Jackson. Saida Garrett was a beast when it came to writing. And then you had the genius of his time. Let's not forget it. Of his time. Like we saying Prince was a genius. Of his time, Quincy Jones was a genius. Quincy go all the way back to being called the boy or the childhood prodigy or the child genius. Because he's
Quincy
a
was
kid.
in clubs at a teenage.
Yeah, he was a kid
14,
running around
15
Dizzy
years
Gillespie. He was a kid running around Bird. He was a kid running around all these niggas, yo. He was a kid, then he grew up with these niggas. That nigga was a childhood prodigy. He only played the trumpet and I think the keyboards and all that. But when it comes to production,
he responsible for We Are the World.
Yeah, him, Lionel Richie and Michael Jackson supposedly co-wrote it with Quincy, and Quincy produced it. Back to when it comes to the engineering board and producing and sounds and all that, not fucking with Quincy. He a genius. So you think Mike had a team like no other.
Mike got that over Prince? You think because he definitely is can get on his production shit. Mike, like you said, Mike get in the background. He be telling these niggas exactly what he want to hear. This is what I want to, you know what I'm saying?
Watch this. I'll give you this though, Pete. If Prince was a more likable and sociable nigga in the industry and he would have worked with more motherfuckers, he would have been a bigger motherfucker than he was. Imagine if Prince would have worked with a nigga like Quincy. Imagine if Prince would have worked with a nigga like Lionel Richie. You see what I'm saying? He'd have been crazy. Word. Yeah, Quincy got stories for days, Scorpion. That's a fact. That nigga story's crazy. This nigga Quincy started telling on fucking Richard Pryor and motherfucking who the nigga who played Marlon Brando from The Godfather. He started saying all type crazy shit about Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando. Niggas got mad, but Richard Pryor's last wife came back and said, nah, Richard was bisexual. Richard was like that. But he kept always saying in the stories that, yeah, I was there. So if you was there, Quincy, why you ain't telling the bullshit, freaky shit you did, nigga? Why you only telling about these niggas bullshit, freaky shit? If you there, you have to be involved in the freaky shit, nigga.
That's a fact.
Word. Who remember when Jay-Z brought Mike out on Summer Stage, nigga? On Summer Jam, nigga?
Yeah.
Who remember when Jay brought Mike out, nigga?
That's Rock My World shit.
Who remember that shit, nigga? I think only Hov could have done that. Yo, Hov, let me tell you about Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones had the best piece of trim, and out his mouth, his words, trim. The best piece of trim he ever had was Donald Trump's daughter. That's a fact. That's what he says.
Your son got a story, bro.
That's a fact, P. And that I watch documentaries. I'm a documentary nigga. When it come to TV, anything history shit, I love it. Documentary and nature channels, I love that shit. But on Quincy Jones documentary, that nigga said the best piece of trim he ever had was Donald Trump's daughter. That's a fact. And now if you want to hear gross, Quincy damn near 85, damn near 90. What that chick is she 40
yet?
Which
daughter though?
The oldest daughter.
A couple of daughters.
The oldest daughter, the one that run the businesses and all that good shit with the blonde hair.
Yeah, Ivanka. Ivanka.
Ivanka. Word. So is Ivanka 40 yet?
I don't know. Allegedly.
No, ain't no allegedly. This nigga said this shit out his mouth.
Say allegedly. You gotta say allegedly.
I ain't got to. No, Quincy had to say allegedly. He said this shit out his mouth.
Well, yeah. Well, Quincy Quincy allegedly
All right, so I'm gonna say
said,
allegedly.
all right, there you go.
Quincy Jones said
For
on
YouTube
his
reasons.
documentary, but allegedly, Quincy Jones said Quincy Jones said the best piece of trim he ever had was Ivanka
Allegedly.
Trump. Now, Quincy Jones is what, 88? I don't know if Ivanka's 40 yet. So if she is, she might be 42, somewhere around there. So this was back in the 90s and the 80s. So if it's the 90s, she what, in her 20s? Quincy had to be 60.
Yeah,
Quincy had to be in the 60s, but he 80 something now.
that's
He had to be in the
crazy.
60s, homie. Fucking Ivanka Trump, B. What type of peanut butter and jelly shit is that? Bitches do anything for the dollar. That show you the Trump family do anything for the dollar, B. Quincy probably hit her with a mean check. He probably left her with like 10 stacks on the fucking on a night dresser and shit, yeah.
Yeah, man. That's crazy.
See, this nigga in
Imagine.
his 40s now, and Benzo said his new wife is just a little shot over 40. That nigga Quincy Wilder. I mean,
Yeah.
Quincy.
Let's keep himself
Imagine,
young.
now if we gonna talk about the word trim, imagine how much trim that nigga got. That
Let me
nigga been
ask you a
around since
question,
Frank
Sonny.
Sinatra, since Dizzy
Which
Gillespie, S4H. That nigga been around since Dizzy Gillespie. That nigga been banging a lot of shit down, nigga. That nigga been
that
around,
nigga
nigga.
said Domino Fats, Fats Domino out
Domino
that bitch.
Fats, all them niggas. That nigga Minnesota Fats, Domino Fats, whoever Fats. That nigga been banging them down, B.
That's a
Quincy
fact.
been all over.
Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah, dude, which one of these artists from back in the day that you think was pimping on some real pimp shit? Because that was that era.
That nigga David Ruffin was smacking the shit out of bitches. And when I say bitches, I'm sorry, ladies. We just talking I'm in the hood shit. That nigga David Ruffin was putting paws on them bitches. Nigga used to beat the shit out of Tammy Terrell, B. Let Tammy Terrell say some fly shit to Marvin. Let Tammy say some fly shit to Marvin, nigga. That nigga David Ruffin was all over that shit. Y'all seen the movie when he walked up at the picnic? He grabbed that bitch right up. Hey, yo, come here, let me talk to you. What the fuck are you doing out here, nigga Marvin? You seen that shit at the Who's on the Temptations joint, B? That
So he was
Temptations
pimping.
joint, that nigga walk right up. B had his sidekick when he had the pretty boy sidekick that kept the coke. The nigga had just hit a one-on-one. He took a bump before he got out the limousine. That nigga walked right up to that bitch and, yo, come here, let me talk to you for a minute. The fuck is you doing out here? Nigga, Marvin.
What
Bitch,
about
is
your
you
boy
crazy? You
Orange
know the
Juice
fuck I am,
Jones?
bitch. I'm David Ruffin, bitch. I'm the voice. Fuck, I'm the voice, bitch. You out here, bitch, nigga Marvin. The fuck is you doing? This nigga's great.
Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. What about your boy Orange Juice Jones? You think he was pimping?
Son, I saw you and walking in the
Hey, yeah, that's
rain.
a pimp song for real, for
Boom,
real.
boom, 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 boom. You was holding hands, and I never be the same. Yo, that nigga Orange Juice. Hey, baby. You miss me today? Bitch, I missed you so much. I followed you today, bitch. Fuck is you doing? Fuck is you doing over? You all that motherfucker. You all on 25th. You all on 25th over there, the nigga JoJo house and shit. I seen you, bitch. That's what you about
That's
to
a
do. You about
fact.
to pack. Nah. Don't grab the Louis luggage. Don't grab the Gucci luggage. Grab them fucking trash bags, bitch, you came in here with. Now
That's
leave
a
the furs
fact.
and all that. Word,
That nigga,
Orange Juice was on his pimp shit,
he put
B.
that bitch out in
That's a
the
fact.
rain, boy.
That's a
That nigga.
fact. Orange Juice was on his. That nigga was hurt, B. You know who was another hurt nigga though, son? That nigga Lenny Williams was hurt, B. That nigga ain't. I
That
don't
nigga.
know, nigga, and ain't nigga on a planet Earth been hurt like that nigga Lenny Williams, B. But let me show you the pimp shit in the song. A lot of niggas don't catch the pimp shit in the song. You got to be a player mentality to catch the pimp shit in the song, how he did the pimp shit. The nigga was talking about one broad the whole time. He was talking about, you did me dirty. Oh, I love you. I ain't gonna never been the same. But here go the pimp shit. When he slow it down, he say, until I met you, baby. That's when he flipped to a whole nother broad. That nigga said, until I met you, baby. That was that pimp shit he was laying down. He was like, yo, this broad hurt me so bad. She broke my heart. This, that, and third. I ain't gonna never be the same. Oh, God, I can't do it until I met you, baby. Until I
Hey,
met
yeah.
you, baby. Then the
Yeah, that
whole
nigga
shit turned around when
crazy.
he met Shorty, nigga. I was some pimp lyrics, nigga. Niggas was on they G back then. And in
Niggas
every
was on their
genre of
grind.
music, whether it be R&B, whether it be rock and roll, dancehall, rockers, reggae, especially the slackness in the dancehall right now. But in every era right now, the music They ain't saying shit no more. A nigga was saying just as much freaky shit back then, but he made you
That's
think
a
about
fact.
that freaky shit he was saying. Huh?
That's a
And
fact.
nigga could be straight up and down with you. That nigga Teddy said, bitch, turn him off. Fuck is wrong with you? Turn off them lights. Fuck is you
It is
doing, bitch? I
ghetto
didn't
fucking
turn them off right now.
turn them off.
Nigga was on his shit. Teddy was on some shit, nigga.
Turn
That's
off
a
the
fact.
lights. Light a candle. Turn them off.
Come on, son. Just listen to the lyrics back then, B. Just listen to the lyrics. You could go all the way up into the 80s. Just listen to the lyrics, nigga. They ain't doing it.
No.
Hey, yo, Benzo, turn them off
Yeah.
and light a candle. Then they try to get
Yeah.
smooth on it, and that he didn't screamed on it. He barked on it, scared the shit out of her. Turn them off. That bitch shut them lights off quick and light a candle. That's when he got smooth on her.
There's
Word.
turned it right back on, huh?
Baby White and all of that. Niggas ain't making them niggas the same no more, son.
That is a fact. That's
Word.
a fact. Now, when Sonny need help, Teddy Pendergrass.
Teddy was that nigga. Teddy was that nigga. Let's understand. Teddy is the only nigga in history up until his time. In his era, Teddy is the only nigga in history to do an all-female tour and sold out state to state. Nothing but broads. All-female tours, son. That's Teddy. Nah, see, Scorpion, you talk about Bobby Womack. You see, I used to like Bobby Womack. If you think you're lonely now, wait until tonight. Ooh, yeah. I used to like the Bobby Womack nigga, right? Until I found out Bobby Womack did some greasy shit. He stabbed Sam Cooke in the back. Now, let me put you on about Bobby Womack and Sam Cooke. You know, all them niggas come from the church era, right? They was church singers and all that. Matter of fact, when Sam Cooke dropped out and did his first secular song, they used to call it R&B secular shit back then. When he jumped out and did his first secular song, he changed his last name. Well, Aretha Franklin said, nigga, you ain't fooling nobody. You've been singing in my daddy church since you was like 10 years old, nigga. I know that's your fucking voice, right? So he was like, all right, I'm gonna go by the Sam Cooke shit. But them niggas, yeah, listen. Sam Cooke would have been, you would have never heard of a Barry White if Sam Cooke would have still been living. But here go this shit that happened. Bobby Womack was in a church group, a gospel group with his brothers. Sam Cooke see the potential in him. He snatched the group up, but they wasn't doing no shining shit in the Christian music. So he took Bobby and made Bobby solo and put Bobby in secular music, and he taught Bobby the game, and he put Bobby out there first. Here go the bullshit. He moved Bobby into his house. It's Sam Cooke, it's Sam Cooke wife, it's Sam Cooke daughter, it's Bobby. Bobby start fucking the daughter, right? So when he start fucking with the daughter, they fall out. He put the nigga out, this, that, and the third. All right, that ain't good enough for Bobby. Bobby wasn't only fucking the daughter, he doubled back and started fucking a nigga old lady. Soon as Sam Cooke died, nigga, 3 months later, Bobby Womack was married to Sam Cooke old bitch, son. That's a fact.
Wow.
That's a fact.
Them niggas some dirty dogs in that ending. That's a dirty game that they play.
Hey, yo, S4X, I always say and I will forever say, Barris Hammond is the Yardie Marvin Gaye. Barris Hammond is the Yardie Marvin Gaye, and some of the sweetest, we can say sweetest when we're talking about the West Indians, ain't no freaky in that. Some of the sweetest voices is Dennis Brown, Gregory Isaac, and Freddie McGregor. Some of the sweetest voices. And none for nothing, Wayne Wonder. None for nothing. Donny Hathaway. Donny Hathaway was that nigga truck. But you know the song that really put Donny Hathaway over wasn't even his song. The song was written.
You know what I'm saying? Soft too.
You ain't know who Luther was singing to, man. That's some real shit.
Nah, you knew Luther was singing to a nigga. Fuck is you talking about? What the fuck you talking about? Nigga, you knew Luther was singing to a nigga. All the jelly rolling on that nigga.
I
that
don't
nigga
hear
was
nobody
a
hear me
biscuit.
laugh about this shit. When you said, Luther wasn't singing to no nigga, bro.
Chill, bro.
Nigga, Luther was singing to a nigga. That nigga was singing to some shiny nigga with Vaseline rubbed all over his chest and all type shit, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? You ain't never seen Luther, ever seen Luther pull a chick up on stage, sing to a chick. Chicks get flowers, he throw them shits right back at them bitches. Bitch, I don't want that. Let a nigga put a flower up there. He taking all that shit. Fuck out of here. Freddie Jackson was singing to a nigga. Who else was singing to a nigga back then? Freddie Jackson. He tried to be Luther competition, but he couldn't fuck with Luther.
Nah, he
Freddie
couldn't fuck with Luther.
Nah, he couldn't fuck with Luther.
Luther.
Then that fat nigga David Peaston came. Remember the nigga David Peaston? The nigga who won all that shit on Apollo and all that shit?
Fact. Oh, yeah, I remember him.
Word. See, nobody remember the person that David Peaston beat when he won all that shit on the Apollo. The person that he beat was a woman named Dawn. Dawn is my nigga. When you hear me talk about the stories with my nigga Dookie Duke, aka Rasheen, Dawn is his auntie. Dawn was had won this shit like about 4 or 5 times back to back, and David Peaston came on and put out to go off the planet. New Black World Order, salute.
Salute to the chat, man. Word up. I see most of the Nile River up in that bitch. Salute to the Nile River too. That's a fact.
All right, so since we off the Princeton joint, we talking, we already said, all right, so who, let's see right now. We always said Donny Hathaway. That's why I was talking about Truck. Donny Hathaway's biggest song was I'm a Jealous Man. Jealous Man was one of the few songs that Danny didn't write. Jealous Man was written by John Lennon from the Beatles. He wrote that shit when he was fucking the little Chinese chick up he was going with. He was married to Yoko Ono. He had beat the shit out of Yoko Ono, and he had wrote the song Jealous Man for Yoko Ono so she wouldn't leave him. And Donny Hathaway turned around and made Donny Hathaway made a classic out that shit. Where we at though? Who else we comparing right now though? Yo, y'all remember that nigga Johnny Kemp? Remember the nigga Johnny Kemp?
Nah,
just got paid. Friday night. Party jumping.
Who you compare him to?
Yo, this nigga, the nigga, what's the light-skinned nigga off the radio? Russ Paul. The nigga Russ Paul had invited that nigga to a show in Jamaica or the Bahamas. I want to say it was Jamaica. Might have been, no, because he's from the Bahamas. So I want to say Jamaica. Invited that nigga to a show on a cruise in Jamaica. The nigga got down there to do the show. They wouldn't let him on the fucking, on the boat. They talk about he ain't know who he was. So he doubled back to the hotel. When that nigga doubled back to the hotel, they ain't seen that nigga since. That nigga got bodied down here.
Hey, Sonny. Stephanie Mills, Regina Bell. Who you taking?
Oh, fuck. I'm biased on this one. I'm sorry, Regina. And I know her brother. I used to know her brother. You know Big Bubs? The nigga Big Bubs is Regina's brother. And I used to fuck with that nigga. But anyway, I'm sorry to say I used to have a crush on Stephanie Mills. So I got to go with Stephanie, B. I got to go with Stephanie. Now, if you say Stephanie and Anita Baker, I got to go Anita.
But I was going to go Anita Baker, Mary J. Blige.
Mary J.
Mary J. Blige was, Anita Baker was Mary J. Blige's idol. So
but I'm going to go Mary J. We might do that, Nari. Word. I'm going to go Mary J.
You going Mary J over Anita Baker?
I'm going Mary J over Anita Baker. I'm going Mary J over Anita Baker. Don't get me wrong. See, watch this. This is the difference between Mary J and Anita Baker. Mary J, hip hop and all that, but Mary will take you to church. Anita go take you to the jazz club. You see what I'm saying?
Fact.
You see what I'm saying?
She take you there though.
When she take you there, she gonna take you all the way there like no other. But Anita go take you to the jazz club. Mary go take you to church when she ready to take you to church, nigga. I gotta go Mary. I gotta go. I'm sorry. I gotta go Mary. Word.
All right. So you going Mary J. Whitney Houston.
Mary J. Whitney Houston. For the masses, it would probably be Whitney, but for my style of singing, I'm going Mary again. For the singers I like, I'm going Mary again. I really wasn't a Whitney fan, B. Even though I know she could hold octaves and she could sing and all of that, I really wasn't a Whitney fan. That's a fact.
Was it the downfall of Whitney that turned you off?
Nah, I wasn't a Whitney fan from the start. I never thought she was always beautiful as everybody gave her up to be because she was a twig. She was skinny as shit. I never thought, here go the bullshit. I never thought it was Bobby. Let's do Whitney. Whitney Houston from Brick City, nigga. On top of being from Brick City, she got a little bit of paper. Her mom's was a little singer, a Dionne Warwick and her peoples and all that good shit. But Whitney been around the game. Whitney was a model first. Before she started singing, she was a model. She was a model in the 80s. In the 80s, she was a model when all them chicks was on the bag. Every model back in the day back then was on that coke bag, nigga. Before she got with Bobby Brown, she had Randall Cunningham, the ex-quarterback nigga. She had Eddie Murphy. She had niggas. Why that shit ain't last? Because them niggas weren't doing the same shit Whitney was doing. Bobby was doing the same shit, but not at the scale Whitney was doing it. If anything, Whitney turned Bobby out more because she had the money to pay for it. Whitney turned Bobby out more. Word. Word. Whitney been around the game. Y'all thinking about Whitney Houston, the singer. Let's think about Whitney Houston, the model. Let's think about Whitney Houston, who mama had a couple dollars from the church and all of that good shit. Let's think about Dionne Warwick, her peoples. Whitney been lit since Whitney been Whitney. She been lit. And when she started modeling, she was on that bag, my nigga. A fact. 16, 17 years old, she was touching cocaine. It ain't nothing.
Aretha Franklin.
Now Rob De Niro stay marrying black women. He married to a black woman right now. Matter of fact, about 4 years ago, it was some shit recorded that didn't mean to get recorded on accident. And Robert was on his woman ass. He's like, yo, if you stay out the malls and stop buying all this fucking Louis and all this fucking Gucci, I could retire. I wouldn't have to do no fucking movies at 80 years old. Word, but Robert De Niro, that Bronx story, that's Robert De Niro's story. That's his story. He was attracted to black women, growing up in that type of neighborhood. He always fucked with black chicks, and he married a black chick. That Bronx tale was his story.
Shaka Khan or Aretha Franklin?
Ooh, Aretha, nigga. No, hands down. But Shaka, don't front on Shaka. Niggas know Shaka for all the screaming shit, but Shaka could sing. When she was Shaka and Rufus back in the day, when she was slim and all that good shit, Shaka could sing, but ain't nobody stepping over Aretha Franklin, nigga. Nobody stepping over Aretha.
Patti LaBelle, nobody.
Nobody stepping over Aretha, nigga. Patti not fucking. Now, I will give you this. If you say Patti LaBelle or Gladys Knight, I'ma go Gladys Knight.
Yeah.
Come on, Midnight Train to Georgia, all that good shit. I'm going Gladys Knight, nigga. Again, Patti is an entertainer. All that shit. Patty's an entertainer, but a real singer, I don't know about that.
Patti a screamer.
I gotta go Aretha. Yeah, Patti a screamer. Word. Phyllis Hyman to run circles around Patti LaBelle. R.I.P. Phyllis Hyman. Mickey Howard.
How about old girl that sung Silly?
What happened?
Old girl that sung the song Silly. That silly of me.
Oh, you talking about Stephanie? Nah, what the fuck that light skinned? No, Denise. What's her name? Denise. Oh my god, light skinned chick. She had that song, and she had the song about the boys and all of that. Yeah, but I know who you're talking about. She was nice with her shit. Word, she was nice. It wasn't Stacey Lattisaw. That was before Stacey Lattisaw. Her name was Denise something. Nari, help me out, Nari.
Denise Williams.
Denise Williams. Word, Denise Williams. What, Betty Wright? Ain't nobody fucking with Betty Wright, B. Betty Wright gangster. Betty Wright, the motherfucking Red Fox of soul music, nigga. Word, Denise Williams.
Because it's
that's
a lot
taking
of
it back.
That ain't even.
Remember I talked about Alexander O'Neal earlier. Let's not front. Alexander O'Neal had some joints back in the day, especially when him and Sherelle teamed up. Anytime him and Sherelle teamed up, that was a tag team duo that was gonna put a hit out every day, every time. They
was better than Atlantic Star. That was a tag team right there.
Atlantic Star, yeah, they was nice, but I don't want to say Alexander and Sherelle. They had more pizzazz and more pop than Atlantic Star. I remember Atlantic Star, Midnight Star, all them store niggas. It was too many star groups back in the fucking day. Word. It's going to take a miracle. Denise Williams killed that shit, truck. Denise Williams killed that shit, truck. Word. Minnie Riperton. Yo, Nari, do you know who her daughter is? Her daughter is the light-skinned chick that came off of Saturday Night Live that be playing in all the little movies with Chris Rock and all type shit. Matter of fact, in that movie Grown Ups, she was Chris Rock's wife in Grown Ups. That's Minnie Riperton's daughter. Word. Minnie Riperton had married a white boy back in the day. Who else we talking about? Throw some other names about there. You got about, I'm gonna do about 1:30. You got about 6, 7 more minutes. Throw some more names about there, good people. Throw some names in the chat. Who we talking about?
BB and CC,
Teddy
nigga.
Pendergrass versus Barry White. I gotta go Teddy Pendergrass on that.
Yeah, Teddy all day. Teddy all day.
Donna Hathaway. Truck. I got one for you, Truck. Donnie Hathaway versus Curtis Mayfield. What we talking about? Donnie Hathaway, Robert Williams, Donnie Hathaway versus Curtis Mayfield. What we talking about?
OJ's Temptations.
Oh shit. Oh shit. I love the OJs, but I love David Ruffin. Me
OJ's
personally, in my era, in my time, I gotta go the mighty fucking OJ.
Yeah. 4 times.
Oh, well, we about to bring this to an end, people. It's raining out here. All my shit about to get wet and all that. I gotta take my shit inside. Good people. Thank you all for popping out. Thank you for rocking with your boy. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Come rock with your boy every Sunday. We doing a live every Sunday. If y'all got the topics y'all want to talk about in one of my stories, put in the comments the topic for the next live. Word, Robert Williams, don't nobody do it like Eddie Levert. That's a fact. Good people, black to the P. Thank you, good brother.
You always
people,
welcome,
salute. Subscribe to Black to the P. Subscribe to Wax APNL Compa. Subscribe to Blow Dollars Network. Word.
Word.
Easy.
Salute.